PFF came back with their rankings of every single team's rosters going into the 2023 NFL season. Let's check it out. But first, let's cue the intro, and I have a huge announcement to make. What's going on, guys? Going on 27 Squad. Welcome back into another video. Before we start the video, guys, I have a huge announcement that I want to make for tomorrow. If you guys are watching this on the 23rd, on the 24th, Wednesday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be on the Bleacher Report app on the New York Giants page for a 30-minute segment. If you guys want to support me, if you guys want to hang out, talk some New York Giants football, I'm going to be on the Bleacher Report app. Make sure you guys download the app in the Google App Store, the Google Play Store, or the App Store on iPhone, whatever it is you guys use, and make sure you guys download the Bleacher Report app. Put your favorite team as the New York Giants, follow that team page, and you should see my live stream at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Very, very excited to announce that partnership with Bleacher Report, and let's get on to the video. This is going based off of obviously their own grading, so I guess they put it into whatever simulator they have and kind of come out with the rankings that way. But I just can't get down with the 23rd best roster in the starting roster. I believe it's starting players, right? Roster rankings for all 32. Okay, so it's not. I don't understand that then, because the Giants do have some decent depth in certain positions that I think would make them better than the 23rd. So we take a look here. The Bears, do the Bears really have a better roster than we do? The Bears really have a better roster? I mean, I really don't think so myself. Carolina Panther, we're just under the Panthers. The Panthers have a terrible roster, in my opinion. They have a decent defense though, but I don't like their offense at all. Besides, obviously Bryce Young in there, but I'm not too enthused with their offense at all. But if you look at the Giants and what they had going on for the Giants here, what happened? What the heck just happened? All right, so they have like strengths and weaknesses. So they say our strength is our rushing attack, and to an extent, I actually think that's false for right now, because the Giants do obviously had a great rushing attack last year. It kind of dwindled off and picked back up again with Saquon Barkley. We don't know what's going on with Saquon Barkley and obviously Daniel Jones and his running ability, but I really think the Giants are going to lean in that passing game more. You're talking about Brian Daboll coming from Buffalo, and we got Kafka coming from the Chiefs. These are two high-powered passing offenses that, the backgrounds are coming from. I really think they're going to lean into that passing game this year. Obviously, we had a little bit of a revamp from our wide receiving core. I know we just still don't have a number one wide receiver yet, but we brought in some guys that can help us, especially Darren Waller, the tight end, who is a pass-catching tight end, not much of a blocker, so you could really see them leaning possibly towards trying to establish the passing game more so than the running game. I think the Giants really focused on the rushing attack last season is because that's what we were kind of built for. And we had Saquon Barkley. We didn't have a good wide receiving core, or a consistent one for that matter, and we were still testing out the kinks in this new playbook that Brian Daboll implemented. So I really think our bread and butter was the running attack because we had the talent for it, but now we're definitely going to be running into or leaning into that passing attack. So I could agree that maybe our strength right now is the rushing attack, but I really think we're going to make our presence known in the passing game. The biggest weakness for 2023, the back seven on defense, I actually agree with this. I know the Giants have a lot of good pieces on the back seven, but it's just not complete, and it's probably the most incomplete on the roster. Obviously, you have Bobby Okereke, the free agent addition from the Colts, the inside linebacker, and then we still have Xavier McKinney there, Adoree Jackson, who's been consistent. We drafted Deonte Banks. All right, there are some guys that are pretty good, but we still don't know what's going on with like the depth of that cornerback position. Who's gonna be our slot guy? A lot of people really think Darnay Holmes is on his way out of here, and maybe Cordell Flott slips into that role. We still don't know what we're going to do with Amani Oruwariye. now that we have Adoree and Deonte Banks on the roster. And who the hell is our free safety? Nobody knows. The Giants run a lot of 3 safety sets. We know Xavier McKinney and Dane Belton are going to be those 2 strong safeties. Who's our single high back there? That's going to be a competition for camp. And then that second inside linebacker spot, who the hell is going to be starting there? Darian Beavers, Micah McFadden, Troy Brown, Deontay Johnson, Gerard Davis. Like, it's completely up for grabs. There is a lot of question marks on that back 7 of the defense, and I could agree with that. The X factor, obviously Darren Waller. I completely agree with this as well. There's really no other factor, offense and defense, that is probably up to Darren Waller right now. I know obviously Dexter Lawrence is the best player on the team, but who is that X factor? Who is really going to determine the success, and if they go off, how far they can take this team? Darren Waller, being that number 1 target and being a good number 1 target for the Giants, can take this team to the next level. Hence being the X factor for 2023. Rookie to watch, Deonte Banks. I'm stuck between Deonte and Jalen Hyatt, because Hyatt is gonna have a specific role, and him being drafted in the 3rd round obviously allows for that kind of, you have a little bit of a flexibility there where you don't need to throw him out there all the time. But I'm really interested in how they're going to use Jalen Hyatt, because he really doesn't match the Brian Daboll scheme. Maybe a Kafka scheme. Maybe Kafka would know how to utilize them. Brian Daboll's offense is a lot of route concepts, a lot of in-breaking routes, a lot of timing routes. It's just not what Jalen Hyatt does. So I'm really interested of seeing how they use Jalen Hyatt. I think he might be a guy to watch, because them drafting him totally a misfit for the playbook. Them drafting him tells me that they're trying to do something different this time around. So I really like that. The over/under is 7.5 wins. I could agree with that, just because our roster the schedule is a bit harder. So I could agree with that, as they did finish 9-7-1 last year. Okay, so projected starting lineup here. So we're going to go through every single one of them, and I'm not really going to talk too much about the grades, because I really don't care too much about PFF's grading system. I kind of use it as supporting evidence more than proof. So, Daniel Jones, obviously, Saquon and Matt Breida, that's fine. Darius Slayton, and like I said, this is a projecting starting lineup, and, they're not really grading the depth of it, as far as I know. So there's that. Slayton, Hodgins, and Wan'Dale. I don't know why Wan'Dale's here. Wan'Dale's probably not going to be playing until mid-season, if that. He tore his ACL well into the season. This was going to the Detroit. This is the Detroit game. I think this was in November, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think Wan'Dale's going to be back for a little bit now. Sterling Shepard is running routes, and he's out there, with the team right now. So I think you're going to see Sterling Shepard out there over Wan'Dale, or you could put Paris Campbell here. Paris Campbell is going to get a decent amount of playing time with this team. You could probably put him there instead. That will kind of raise the grade up a bit, I would assume. Darren Waller, and then you have your starting 5 offensive linemen. I'm okay with this right now. I think Evan Neal's going to take a step up. I would hope so. He's really probably had a worse rookie season than Andrew Thomas did. I don't know about Eric Flowers. I'd have to go back and kind of rethink that, or really see how bad Eric Flowers was in his rookie season. But Evan Neal did not have a good rookie season at all. I think he was one of the worst starting tackle in football last year, which is very, very sad to see, being the 7th overall pick. So, and then you have Schmitz. John Michael Schmitz, very excited about him. Ben Bredesen seems to have won that left guard position, as I assume so as well. Moving on to the defensive side, Dexter Lawrence highlighting that defense on the interior, along with Leonard Williams. They don't mention A'Shawn Robinson here, which is interesting, because this is a 3-4 defense. Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari. They put O'Shane in here. Why do you have 3 edges here and then 2 inside defenders? I don't know why. I don't know. I don't get that at all. But O'Shane is probably not going to make this team, in my opinion. I don't think O'Shane's making this team over obviously Jahad Ward. Why is not Jahad Ward not here? That doesn't make any sense. And then you have Habakkuk Baldonado, Timon Fox, who I think are going to make this roster over O'Shane Ximines. I think he is going to be a scratch for the starting roster. And then let's see if Aziz stays healthy, and let's hope Thibodeau takes a step up. And then we have the two projected inside linebackers in Bobby O and Jarrad Davis. Let's see how healthy Jarrad Davis is going to be. This guy has never played a healthy season in his career. I'm assuming, I honestly think that. I know he was with the Lions. I think he went somewhere else and came back to the Lions, if I'm not mistaken. But he's just not great. He's not a great linebacker. He's borderline a good linebacker, but he's not a terrible linebacker. I really don't think he's that bad. But he's probably the second best that we have right now. So he would be starting if he's healthy. Let's see if he stays healthy. Adoree Jackson and Deonte Banks and Darnay Holmes as your starting corners. I could see this, and I could see if a website like PFF, who aren't really, looking at the Giants all that much, Darnay Holmes really just seems like he's on his way out. He did not have a good season last year. He was penalty riddled last year, especially on third downs. He was constantly holding, giving up receptions, things like that. He was picked on a lot. You can see his grade here, 44.3. I don't know where that stands between other corners, but it was just not a good season from him last year. You may see a second-year guy like Cordell Flott or even Aaron Robinson win that job at nickel over Darnay Holmes. You may see him out of there, so that may help us out a bit too as well. Xavier McKinney at one safety spot, and then Jason Pinnock at another. I really think Xavier McKinney's grade is so low is because he's kind of playing a position that's not his own. He really in Wink Martindale's defense, he's really more of a free safety, but he's playing strong safety. He's playing closer to the line. Although he can play wherever and be decent at it, he's really playing out of position, covering tight ends, covering running backs out the backfield. He's really best just roaming the field, reading the offense, reading the quarterback, and making plays that way. You could look back in Patrick Graham's defense. He was really successful in Patrick Graham's defense because he played that free safety role, and he was all over the place. In Wink Martindale's system, Wink loves his safeties. He utilizes them, has specific roles for them. He has McKinney as that guy, that designated guy to cover the running backs, cover the threat of a tight end. So if there's a receiving tight end that's on the field, Xavier McKinney is more than likely covering him one-on-one, and I think that's why his grade is so low. That's why Pinnock's grade is higher than McKinney. And Pinnock would probably be right now our starting free safety because Dane Belton got benched for 5 games last year in his rookie year because he just couldn't play free safety, couldn't play single high. We run a lot of cover 1 and cover 3, so you can see a lot of single high safety sets, and Dane Belton just couldn't make the right reads, couldn't make the right angles on tackles, would whiff on tackles, whiff on reading the field and things like that. So Dane Belton is not going to be a free safety. I don't think they're going to trust him with that again. So that being said, guys, I'm covering PFF. This is just their opinion. I don't think we are 23rd in the NFL as far as our roster goes. I think we're a lot higher than that. I honestly think we could be in the top 17, 18. I think 23 is a little too low for us. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Where do you guys think the Giants rank on, with their rosters, and how well do you guys think the Giants are going to do with that roster? Or do you think the Giants need to add any pieces before the season starts? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys download that Bleacher Report app, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Very excited. I'll see you guys soon.